Hello everyone, meteorologist Marcus Bagwell in the East Texas Storm Center. We're continuing to keep a close eye on Florence and also the system that could develop in the Gulf of Mexico. But I want to talk more about Florence and why this system is going to slow down a whole lot as it moves closer to landfall as we get toward late Thursday and into Friday, and what that system could do as we get toward the weekend. Let me first show you what we've been seeing with Florence here over the last 12 to 18 hours. We've started to see a little bit more of a defined eye wall there, an indication that this storm is still very tightly compact. It's been holding strength at about a Category 4. It's not out of the question that maybe it could reach near Category 5 strength as we get toward the next 24 to 36 hours. Now, the advisories, oh yeah, there's a lot of weather alerts. As of Tuesday night, hurricane warnings stretch all the way from south of Virginia Beach, all the way along the Carolina coastline down to Wilmington, and even into parts of South Carolina. It would not surprise me if we saw these alerts extended a little bit more, even down toward parts of far southern South Carolina and near the eastern coastline of the South Carolina and the Georgia area, because of the track of what Florence could potentially take over the end of the week and into the weekend. There you can note that the model tracks there are in pretty good agreement all the way through about Friday at the lunchtime hour, but you'll notice that they start to diverge there right at the end of their points. And watch what happens into the weekend. Yeah, we get all of these curving shapes around, and that just means complete uncertainty in regards to what this system could do. This is the general overview on how things could play out with Florence. Here's what we have going on. We have a Bermuda high, upper level ridge of high pressure centered right over Bermuda. This is a this is a clockwise flow of wind. So that would essentially force Florence closer and closer to the mainland, and you would typically expect this to move a little bit farther off to the north. However, that is not going to be the case. The reason why is we have an upper level ridge of high pressure that's going to form over the central part of the United States, and another high that forms up into the northern part of the New England region. So what is this doing is that it's keeping it right in the center of in between North Carolina and South Carolina, trying to come on land, but moving very, very slowly. So because of that in play, it's going to continue to meander just a bit, perhaps down to the southwest. This is the end of the weekend, the Sunday time period. But then once that high moves back over the Atlantic, we'll start to see the system begin to lift up a little bit more. Now, with this possibly playing on out, that means that this system is going to move very slowly. We're looking at rounds and rounds and so much rainfall that's going to move through this area. This is one of the many computer models, and you can note some of these amounts are quite impressive, over a foot, maybe even approaching 2+ feet of rain. This is one particular model showing just how slow moving this is. So by Sunday at 11 o'clock, still the center of circulation. This is area of pressure lines here showing very strong winds coming in along with very heavy rain. Still could show the circulation centered right over the part of South Carolina. This is one of many computer models, and again, this is likely to change. So big time system is on the way for the East Coast, and everywhere from Virginia all the way down to Georgia, if you have family in that region, they need to make sure that they are prepared for a very slow moving system. There's probably going to be lots of power outages there, along with very heavy rainfall, coastal flooding, and even some major concerns there in regards to how much water in the storm surge that they could see. So thoughts and prayers are going to be with those people that are going to be impacted by Florence as we get toward the end of this week. We do want to keep a close eye on what's happening with the Gulf disturbance. It's not a tropical system just yet, but it does have the potential of becoming a tropical storm later on this week. The forecast models, though, are in pretty good agreement that it will move more so to the northwest, closer and closer to the South Texas area. So that's a favorable view here for East Texas. As you'll note here from near Brownsville all the way up toward Houston, that's where we could see most of the heavier rainfall as this storm track looks to move that way. How does that play out with our futurecast model? Well, it's starting to get in a little bit more in line also with this area of low pressure moving northwest into the Gulf. A lot of the heavy rainfall is going to be focused along parts of southeast Texas down toward far south Texas. Now, Now, here in East Texas, yeah, we're probably going to get at least some precipitation out of it, especially as we get toward the Friday time period, primarily over deep East Texas, but just not expected to see a whole lot because that system moves well away from us. Still could have a few showers even as we go into Saturday. So, of course, the main focus is going to be on Florence, but we're also keeping an eye on our next tropical system in the Gulf that does look to impact Texas by the end of the week. Of course, this is a very evolving situation. There's going to be changes in the model runs over the next several days on the track of Florence and even on the track of the system in the Gulf. So stay tuned here to the East Texas Storm Team as we keep you up to date on the latest on what is going to be happening there with those particular storms.